I'm Joshua the Lisle, the designer blacksmith, and welcome to the DIY storm kettle build. Who wants a cup of tea in the woods?
We do. We do.
Come on, Em. You want a cup of tea? Come on, let's go.
I'll get the biscuits, yeah?
Yeah, get biscuits. Really gentle, make sure you put it back, won't you?
No, make sure. You go, don't you? You go. Can I get it? Go. 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 Go.
Good girls. Cheers! Let's talk about it, shall we? Let's go over some of the details that probably need explaining. So first let's just talk about Kelly kettles, Ghillie kettles, storm kettles in general. So the idea is with the internal chimney and having the water almost like a water jacket around the fire, there's an increased amount of surface area that gets heated. So it heats up water a lot quicker. It means that you use a lot less fuel and it's a lot less messy. See, when I've done lots of camping with regular kettles, they always go hugely black on the outside, look really disgusting. This is it's kept in really good nick actually. I mean the interior is a little bit sooty, but you can't see it, so I'm not worried. And I love the little fire pot as well, and you can easily cook other little meals on that with a little frying pan and stuff. So really lovely. Now compared to the conventional Kelly kettle, which is what I've really wanted one for a long time. I've never justified buying one because they're quite expensive. Well, for someone who likes to make something out of nothing, they're expensive. I thought, well, how can I improve on that design? So I like to have a proper handle, like a regular kettle, so I can lift it off like this and put it back on and not have to worry about a chain and another lever, because the regular Ghillie and Kelly kettles, they've got like a handle that comes above the chimney, which is mad. So if you wanted to lift it off, you can't just grab it. Your hand's above the flames. So they have to put like a little chain at the back so you can tip it and do all this kind of thing. I just thought, nah, I like a kettle I can just pick up and it's fine. And if I wanted to, I could actually put another little trivet on top of here quite easily and put another frying pan on top, although the height of it gets a little bit precarious a bit then. But the idea is that it's minimal impact in the environment, you use very little fuel, it's very quick to set up. You have a cup of tea in the woods and go, which is what is needed. So let's talk about the build then. You'd notice that I used aluminium as a backing plate, and the rear side of the weld came out really, really lovely and fairly oxide free. The reason with that is that the stainless steel kind of doesn't react with aluminium as it's being melted. So you can put these backing plates behind stainless steel parts and you can do your weld, and you haven't got to worry about the rear side of it. It will come out lovely and even. Now I had to do something called purging on the inside of the kettle itself because it will form something called sugaring, which is basically a heavy oxide of stainless that is gone all it's crystalline. It's forming these kind of crystal shapes, which harbours bacteria and is no good for food-based or water-based products. Now it's really hard to see with the camera, and I might be able to shine a light on it later. I've had a look on the inside with a spotlight and all the welds came out really lovely. Lovely penetration and all lovely and clean, which is good. I did show you a footage of the sugaring on the fire pot. I wasn't worried about that because it's not holding water and it's going to get oxided anyway through use of having a fire in it. So I actually did another version of the Kelly kettle that I was going to produce, but it was too difficult to make. It needed to be rolled to make this cylindrical shape. So I came up with this idea of having it wedge shaped, because you can bend the steel, as you saw, quite easily, and just attach those ends together. You don't have to worry about the rolling. And anyone who's used any rolling equipment, you know that the flats on the ends are always a bit of a nightmare to try and get right and to get the whole thing cylindrical again. And also fabricating smaller diameter pipes is, again, almost impossible without having to buy stainless steel in, and I wanted to make it out of a single piece of sheet steel. So that's how I came up with the triangular design. I decided on a triangle instead of a square, so that there was only 3 sides to weld instead of 4, so you're economizing on welding time. Now this is 1mm thick stainless steel, and I TIG welded it together. On the prototype that I did, I used my MIG welder, and I actually got some MIG welding wire that was stainless steel, and it was working fine. I really wanted to TIG weld it, so I've decided to save the capabilities of MIG welding with stainless for another video. Hope you don't mind. Which is the new welder that I got, and I think in that video I'll show you flux core, the stick welding capabilities on it, and some stainless steel welding, and I thought I'll just make a whole video like that. Now this would work even better actually if it was aluminium. My TIG welder won't do aluminium because it's only DC. See, for aluminium you need AC/DC, or specifically AC, alternating current, and what that does is the alternating current breaks through the oxide of aluminium because the aluminium oxide melts at a higher temperature to the aluminium body itself. So what you would get is you'd be trying to weld it and you'd get nothing, and then all of a sudden everything would just go melt away, whilst the AC, alternating current, just kind of jabs it, breaks it up, and you're able to get a weld bead out of it. And I'd love a machine to do that. I haven't got one yet. I do have one at work though, and I've done quite a bit of aluminium welding and I really love it. As far as settings on this, I haven't got pulse either. Everything you saw was manual pulse, me literally flicking the trigger, and I used between 30 and 40 amps. Some more experienced TIG welders than I am might suggest going faster with a higher setting, maybe 60-70 amps. And you might have seen some of my tacks that is sooted because of a bit of contamination and everything, but it's very difficult to keep completely sanitary when doing stainless. You'd notice that I use little stainless steel washers on the clamps to try and stop any iron getting contaminated on the surface that would make it rust. Used a bit of cardboard, used aluminium when I could, in order to be as cleanly as possible. But it's very difficult indeed. But all in all, I think it's a really great skill to practice, stainless steel, especially in the climate of coronavirus, where a lot of industries have collapsed and new ones will begin again as we get through the next stage of this thing. And I believe that a lot of countries will start to produce more of their own food and their own food products. And who are they going to bring in to build these industries? The stainless steel welders, because everything has to be of food grade. This was a great project for me to kind of touch up on those skills, and hopefully I'll get myself coded, and therefore I've diversified and adapted to the changing environment for work. Now, my workplace, Suckley Engineering, actually lost all of its business overnight. We had 2 or 3 months of work and it just went. So I've been at home doing other projects like this. Now, I've promised for a long time that I'm making a stag. That is definitely now happening next. I've been very distracted playing with my kids and doing gardening, and I really wanted one of these. But a stag sculpture is coming next. I've also been developing the DIY power generating steam engine. So that is something that I've already been collecting all the parts for and would like to start soon. And I think it will be a brilliant concept. And just a quick idea behind that is, with power generation in general, what you would get off the grid, that electricity is sent through very high voltage through the pylons, and then they go to transformers where they're converted into lower voltage. The thing is with that is those transformers and all of those cable lines are losing a lot of energy simply through heat, which makes it less efficient in my opinion. So if you're able to generate your own electricity at your house, quite potentially able to generate a lot of all your own electrical needs efficiently, especially if you're able to run it off free and available materials. So super excited about that one. There's been lots of requests for lots more sculptures: dragons, wolves, bison, what was another one? Can't remember them all. But the point is, if what you want me to do next, whatever sculptures or designs that are helpful to you, let me know in the description and we'll start working on them, shall we? But like I said about the storm kettle here and the skills that is now providing me, I'm going to be thinking more consciously of other projects, other things that you guys could make and generate income from. So with the terms and conditions of my designs, for a lot of them I've said you can sell them, you can make the product and sell it. All I ask is that you don't give away or sell my design. You keep that for yourself only, which, you know, protects my business. Very lastly, I've got a really exciting project that we're working on at the moment, and this is in collaboration with a fantastic artist who I've been following for a number of years now, and her name is Bathsheba Grossman. She designs 3D mathematical art that a lot of people can get 3D printed, so you can go on Shapeways and other websites download her designs and get them all 3D printed. And you'll see in that video just how much her work has inspired my own work, my previous work that I did. So we're going to make one of her sculptures, and essentially we're going to develop patterns for you guys to use, and then we'll also do a raffle, so one of you guys can own that sculpture, but all of the proceeds from that particular design we're going to send to some important charities who are working their hardest at this particular time. So specifically charities that are dealing with domestic abuse, homelessness, and the food bank, which has played a vital role at this time for a lot of people. That's my way of just looking at people who need some help, and I think that would be a brilliant project to start that going. But in the meantime, do check out my other designs and support me and to make more videos like this possible. And if you do give this video a like and you subscribe and you comment, it helps the algorithm get these videos out there to more people, and therefore I'm able to do more of this. Happy forging a life worth living, and we'll certainly have lots more fun in the next episodes. And now I'm going to do some B-roll, having a nice cup of tea. See you later.